Well, you have to think about the fact that we were a little bit older than most of those guys that were coming out with the New Jack Swing. And I I love the New Jack Swing sound, and I feel that it was just the next progression of quote-unquote R&B music, black music. A lot of young producers were coming up, and I was just relieved to hear people creating new music as opposed to sampling music all the time, because there was that period where, the samples were coming in as the hip-hop era began to take form and take shape. So I would say that the Skyy, and in some cases we were referred to as sort of the dinosaurs in the industry at that point, because we were quite a bit, I'd say 10 years older than the average groups, the New Jack Swing groups that were coming out at the time. But I believe that our professionalism and the fact that, we were trained the way that we were, we had great producers, and especially, I have to give credit to Randy Muller, because he was a wonderful composer. In a lot of our early music, we had strings and horns, and these little white guys would come in, doing the horns and the string sections, which added so much flavor to the music that we were doing. So for us to span that 13-year, musical history and still be able to hang with the young folks, I think is sort of a credit to our ability.
And Start of a Romance was a #1 R&B hit. Now, after Start of a Romance, tell me about Real Love, which is still getting played on Quiet Storm Urban AC Radio.
Yeah, Real Love was a very surprising hit. I usually am known for singing more of the up-tempo tunes, and so for me to kind of score with a ballad as the lead vocalist, was a bit of a surprise. But Solomon Roberts wrote that song, and it was just such a very well-written song. And I think songs like that strike a nerve in people. That's what makes them popular. That's what makes them successful, is that people can relate to the lyrics of the song. So I'm just happy that it kind of kept us on the charts for a little while longer.
So y'all were able to make it stretch like elastic.
Yeah, we really did stretch the longevity of that particular album.
And because I remember back when I was younger, basically Start of Romance and Real Love, those were the two records that really got me in the Skyy, because I remember those two songs getting played heavy on K97.5, which is a R&B radio station out of Durham, North Carolina, back in the day. So
well, that album and those songs brought us the next generation of fans. When we perform now, I might mention that my sisters and I now perform as Ladies of Skyy, and we still have a lot of the original tracks from the most of the hits. And so when we play those particular songs, when we perform those songs, we can see the demographic of the people who are familiar with our music change a little bit from the people who are hip to Call Me and, the early Here's to You and Let's Celebrate. So it's just nice to see that we were able to transcend a couple of generations of listeners and fans between, from the Call Me hit up to the Start of a Romance hit.
Okay, now after Start of a Romance, you guys went and made your last studio album, Nearer to You, back in '92. Tell me about that record and the real final top 20 R&B hit, Up and Over, Stronger and Better.
Well, that was probably the most, I think, creatively for me, anyway, challenging album, because we worked with a lot of other producers on that album. There were about 3 or 4 different producers, and when you listen to that album, there is quite a different flavor to it as a result of the different, producers and the different writers. Up and Over was, I think, I call it the Swan Song album, the Swan Song single, because Randy Muller, wrote that, and the lyrics are up and over, stronger, better, moving on. You know what I mean? So, and again, vocally, that was extremely challenging for me to sing. But the maturity that we realized or that we reached when I listened to my voice on Here's to You, let's say, from Here's to You to Up and Over, you're listening to a different Denise, you know what I mean? You're just listening to a different set of girls, and we really matured vocally as far as that last album was concerned. I also feel, though, that the last album didn't get the play that it deserved because we were in the midst of a lot of changes at Atlantic Records, and the promotion, just wasn't there, and I don't think they were standing behind it as well as they could have. So that was sort of, as I said, the swan song for Skyy as far as our musical career is concerned.
Okay, so tell me life after the 92 album, Nearer to You.